In this video, I showed a scientific paper that I thought was worth discussing because it showed a method of getting rid of literally every single wrinkle on patients that took part, even when they were around 90 years old. I've now been doing that protocol for a while, and with my earliest users, we have a 6-month update. Stay tuned for blood work, survey results, patient feedback, and more. Now, the first thing in your head when you think of testosterone might be hormone replacement or steroids, maybe. So, won't using this cream change the body's testosterone level? Well, the original study showed it didn't, and for very good reasons, which are explained in the original video if you want to take a look. Now, this is exactly what I found in clinical practice. Now, here's a before and after of someone who has been using this cream for 6 months now in terms of their systemic testosterone level. Now, as you can see, it's pretty much exactly the same. And here's a testimonial from someone in my school group, link in the description, who also said exactly the same after their blood work. Now, in the interest of time, I'm not going to go through every single person's blood work because this video would be 6 hours long otherwise, but you can see the results very, very clearly. Now, another question that was common was, will it make me grow a beard? Now, no one grew a beard in the original study, but some saw some areas of hair on the face increase in length by a few millimeters after about 1.5 years. Now, as you can see in this survey of 90 patients that have been using it for the longest time, there was a 0% result in undesired hair growth so far. Now, some may also think, well, if you use testosterone, you might exacerbate acne. I agree, you probably would, but you have to have the acne in the first place in order to have something to exacerbate. And this cream is not for anyone with any skin conditions whatsoever, not just acne. And absolutely no one has developed any acne anywhere, as you can see from the survey again. What about reactions in general? Well, one person did have a reaction to the carrier and not the active ingredient itself. Their skin went quite red and irritated, and I advised them to stop the cream straight away. Aside from that, no other adverse events at all. Now, what about actual skin quality? Well, as you can see from the survey with the question, do you feel your skin's improved more than when you're using other skincare or no skincare in terms of, reduction of the amount of wrinkles, the texture of your skin, better looking tone, more elastic and less pigmentation? Now, in the survey, there was also pretty fantastic. The rate at which people said yes was about 90%. 7% said not sure, and 3% said no. When asked, would you, carry on using this as your only skincare, 94% of people said yes. I think it's about 6% that said no. This is all over 6 months, by the way, not a couple of weeks. And the results tend to come after a period of time like this, as opposed to some quick fix, which could be placebo. Now, you probably won't see anything in just a few weeks. When they were asked, are you spending less, about the same, or more than you were previously on skincare, the results, again, were pretty good. 84% said they were spending less, about 10% said they were spending about the same, and about 6% said they're spending more. Even though the cream itself may have been more than other creams, because they're not buying anything else, including like skin supplements and things, their net overall spend is actually a lot less in most cases, as you can see. And I'll get some before and afters on screen now that you can look through. Some are of the lower face and the neck, some are for the mid or upper face. And we get similar results now being achieved when on the body too. However, more before and afters are on the way. Not everyone is happy to consent to their pictures being used on social media. So as I collect more, I'll be releasing those before and afters onto my school group, which is linked in the description below, where we also do multiple live calls every week to learn about things in cosmetic and longevity medicine. So you can look your best while spending the least amount possible by looking at scientific evidence like what's in this original video. Remember that if you want to try this cream, what I suggest you do is find the nearest and or cheapest person you can. You don't have to get this from me. It can be made up for you by anyone that has the ability to do so. Do some shopping around and see what you can find. Don't go for the testosterone types that do change your body's level because that's a different treatment entirely. This type is only for the skin. It doesn't change the body's internal level of hormones, as you can see. If you would like to have this treatment with myself for whatever reason though, that's absolutely fine. There's a link in the description below. However, I have to be honest, there's only so many patients I can look after at one time. So I will be stopping this when I get to the limit of how many I can take care of. And it's not some sales trick. Like, I genuinely can only look after so many people at one time because I can't clone myself to look after an unlimited number of patients. Now, if you want more updates on this though, and to see tips and tricks to get it to work even stronger, then I suggest you join either my free or paid school group using the link in the description below. In the paid group, we have a live call every 3 to 4 days for teaching things in cosmetic and longevity medicine. In the free group, it's just much less often. Now, what does all this data mean though, the data that I've collected? Well, in the original study, we can see, even if some of the photos aren't brilliant from back then, that it removed literally every single wrinkle and even brought back some useful volume areas that looked a bit hollow. In a time, actually, when dermal fillers hadn't even been invented yet. We also know that no one out of the few hundred that took part in the study, the original study, had any side effects. And with this data, I can say that the findings in that study are repeatable because so far I've got similar looking results. So considering that this is what I found, I'm not surprised that nearly everyone that's stuck with the cream for a good length of time wants to stay on it and not use anything else. I suspect that the results they've gotten so far are just going to get better and better and better. Now, I have some ideas on how to improve this formula even further. But the problem is that I don't want to sell things because then I have a bias when I recommend something. At the moment, I can share this data with you and you can get the formula made for yourself anywhere. So I have no bias at all. I'd lose that if I started selling my own formula that you can't get anywhere else. Now, I've done some tests already and the formula I created works multiple times better than the results you've been shown in this video. But as I say, I'm reluctant to sell anything because I will be biased. However, if you guys would be happy to have me sell something, please do genuinely comment down below and I'll listen to what you say. If you don't want these things that I've researched in the lab and looked at in clinical practice, I'm happy to keep my mouth shut. If you do, maybe I can take what I earn from YouTube in things like ad revenue and put it into building my own new lab and a sort of manufacturing base to make products that are stronger than what's on the market and end up being cheaper for you guys at the same time. But I'll only do it with your permission. So please do comment below if you think it'd be okay for me to do that.